You shout out to everybody that's still tuning in to the podcast and supporting us and coming up to me telling me shit about the podcast. I really appreciate it, man. I got my guy Dr. Reid on this episode. I told y'all I'm switching shit up. I'm not just talking about sex. You can't marginalize me. We doing it all, man. And I feel like I learned a lot from this guy, and I feel like you can as well. I would recommend that you go get his book, The 10 Laws. And it's dope, man. He got a story to tell, and he got a real message, and it's coming from a sincere place, man. So I feel like he know what he talking about, and I wouldn't back somebody that I feel like on some bullshit. So hope you enjoy the episode and go get that book. Thank you. All right. Welcome back to Let's Keep It 100 podcast. I got my guy Dr. Reid, local author. I just want to know, bro, like motherfuckers don't like come up and want to like write a book. Like, what made you want to really write a book, bro?
It really wasn't. It was an idea that I came up with like a year ago from the book being published. I actually ran into this guy named, which is my mentor now. He's tutoring me in holistic medicine. And he had went through patches in Africa to get his name, and the name they gave him was considered Thought. Mm-hmm. And you know, Thought is a god of writing in Egypt. So when I was going through at the time, I needed an editor and things like that. So his name made me want to write a book with him. But he wanted to just be an editor of the book because he had a lot of other things going on.
Cause I'm like, so I met Young Boy Shaq, and then I meet you, and it's like, damn, this is really dope. Motherfuckers doing different shit. Like, motherfuckers really writing books. You don't see that every day. And then it's like, I see like Shaq posts all the time, like, I don't read, but I'll just buy a book just to support you. But that'll make people read. Cause like, all right, he look like me. Mm-hmm. He from my neighborhood. He from around here. I'm gonna read his book. And you need shit like that, man.
Yeah, definitely coming from where I came from, a lot of people definitely showed me a lot of love. I mean, I got so much love, it was really unexpected. Like, I got people overseas ordering my book, people in different states ordering my book, so it was really a blessing. And it's the footwork and the hustle I put in for it, because I really believed in what I was doing.
You got any inspiration from Biggie, the 10 Crack Commandments for this shit?
Yes, you know what's so funny about that? My editor said my book was going to be big as the 10 Crack Commandments.
This shit crazy.
I kind of got it like that because, like I said, I came from the streets. I wasn't always Dr. Reid at one point, so when he, like, my hustle was loan sharking. And, you know, in the 10 Crack Commandments, he was like, giving a fiend credit, forget it. Right. But, you know, I really survived off that for a long time. So, it was kind of like that number definitely played the kind of part in me using the 10 laws.
Right. So, the first law is solution mind. So, explain that.
Well, solution minded is basically we need to start dwelling on solutions. Too often when you find people discussing things in the black community that they dwell on problems and just keep talking about the problems repeatedly, repetitiously, you know, and that's not what's going to help us. We need to focus on the solutions repetitiously and keep repeating solutions.
Yeah, most people just pessimistic about a bunch of shit.
Yeah. They get angry, and you know, you see like the trauma of, you know, generational cycles come out when you see people talk, but we gotta overcome that. We gotta evolve.
Right.
If we evolve to, like, in some of the videos when I talk about the law, I say you cannot talk bad about black people. Imagine a world where people don't talk bad about us.
Right.
Because we are the greatest people.
Yeah, because it's like, all right, so they control the narrative. Like, they control like what people want to see and a perception of us. If I saw white people just acting a fool, wilding out all the time, I would be afraid of them. Like, anytime, and I want everybody to do this, anytime I see like a white person and they try to act like they're scared to walk on the same side of the street, I mean, I act like I'm scared first. I cross the street, like, oh my God. Yeah, like, bro, you can't have a perception of somebody. That's just like you trying to have a perception of somebody from Instagram or something. You don't really know that person, and you judging a million people off of one person, off of like a character from a movie or some shit. Right. It's just how they portray us.
Or a rap song.
Right.
Things of that nature, yeah.
So
the world has systematically built a perception of what black people are, and that's not who we are. We are the greatest people on the world. So, and we know that, and we need to exhort that more. We need to demand that more, that we are the greatest people, and we will not be talked bad about. And we need to shut everybody else, skeletons in their closet alike, because
right, because everybody's human, nobody's perfect.
Human, and everybody's situations doesn't make the news or get televised.
Right.
People are put on pedestals, whatever. People are given, shit.
Shit, crazy, man. With one of these laws, I saw you talking about, like uplifting our woman, like uplifting each other, and I'm a big advocate of that. I tell people all the time, I feel like verbal abuse is worse than physical abuse.
Way worse, because it's psychological, and we fall from some of the psychological warfares now, with words being put into our culture. When people say, in their raps, they're gonna kill a nigga. The word nigga. When we speak of nigga, we only speak about black people. So words can be powerful. So it's imperative that we control the narrative and be careful what we say. And psychological warfare with the words. I'm sorry to cut you off. It's what you were saying was the way you speak to a person and make them feel better. If you're speaking nicely to a person, always uplifting a person, always giving people compliments, and that's going back and forth, we'll be uplifting each other.
Right.
There's a part in there about psychological words and warfare, with the different examples with the one woman with the abusive verbal husband, right, and the other woman with the positive verbal husband. Well, what really is negative reinforcement and positive reinforcement.
Right, and a woman whose husband speak highly of her, gives her motivation, she's more likely to prosper.
Yeah, absolutely. Both that's are just more likely to prosper.
Right, that's just like coming up and you got like a fucked up dad or something, or mom, and they just always thinking negatively and putting you, trying to basically, like, I heard Jay-Z say, like, motherfuckers try to put their fears on you, and they, like, cause they felt like they couldn't do it, so they think you can't do it.
Imagine a child that's always like, I don't know if you've seen it, but I know it was a viral video when a little girl was saying she was ugly, and she was laughing. And then when the lady said she was pretty, she like, what? Like she never heard that before. So imagine always being told that you're ugly, or being called a bitch by your mother at your age. Mm-hmm. You're gonna believe that about yourself. You're gonna have low self-esteem, and that's some of the things that we need to stop. That's why power of words. We need to really be uplifting ourselves. Like, I'm not gonna say we need to be doing it, because we are doing it. We need to do it at a higher frequency.
Right. And that's why I always tell y'all, there's no such thing as an ugly woman. She's just not your preference. Yeah. So
Mother's Day.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day, man.
Women are the backbone of our community. We come from women. I know I came out of my mom. I know my son came out of his mother, and so on. So when we understand that our women are essential to us, and that we do need to be treating them as queens or empress or whatever they want to call themselves, so that they can reach their higher self. Because at the end of the day, what I see a lot, is queens are definitely treating black men good. A lot of black men are dependent on their queens. Right. So we gotta, get that love back.
But what about when people get just traumatized and broken by like a bad situation?
When you get traumatized and broken, when you gotta grow up with your mom telling you ugly and calling you bitches, that's when you gotta really recondition your mind. Right. And really change those thoughts.
Or even like a relationship, like, there's some fucked up dudes out here. Yeah. And they like manipulate women to take advantage of people.
Mm-hmm. Some of those men probably hate their mom, or suffer from trauma themselves. That's why they do what they do, or they believe that's what they're supposed to do because that's what society has taught them. Right. There's a lot of rules that we follow. We are born into them. Like, there's rules already written for us. So that's another reason why I wrote the 10 laws. So it'd be rules for our kids to be born into. So they can follow and be better than what we have done.
Right. So, like, imagine, all right, so your 10 laws, like, y'all gotta get this book. It's really imperative that you get this book, because I feel like, all right, your 10 laws, imagine if this was put into the judicial system. Like, most of that shit that's in there, we can't use in our everyday life, bro.
Absolutely.
But imagine if you pounded this type of shit into a kid's head. Like, damn, I gotta do this. Oh, I gotta invest in my community. Oh, I gotta talk to people this way. And you start, like, if you teaching, all right, I know that's right. Like, that's what we need,
and
man.
when we do all those things, we start a new cycle.
Right.
That's what we do. We break old cycles and start new cycles for our kids to follow, so they can keep doing over and over and over again, which is going to build them up.
How do we start a new cycle, though? You know, nobody really want to accept change, man. We still got laws that were implicated in like the 1800s
Absolutely.
and shit.
So the one way to start a new cycle is you got to become a group first. Not one person really can start a new cycle. They can have a little better effect on the world, but it wouldn't be major. You need a group to come together.
Right.
When a group come together and do something different out of the norm, that's when new cycles are born. Like even now, new cycles are being born. People are stepping back into, you know, revolutionary times,
Right.
and stepping up to the plate, and there's more leaders than ever. But we gotta know who we can trust and who we can't trust. But to bring a new cycle, it's gonna take a group of people to do something different, and that's how new cycles are born. That same group that's doing that cycle gotta come do a different cycle, and then, you know,
Right.
you start trending.
I feel like with this type book, I'm giving this shit. I'm gonna recommend a lot of my young boys to you, because one time Pac said, and I feel like you doing this with this. He said, I might not be able to change the world, but if I could spark the mind of the person that can change the world, you feel me?
We all gotta keep trying to spark that mind. That mind,
bro.
Even
like
if it's not me, it's gonna be somebody
else, and you just gotta be on that type of time. I really believe that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I underlined this right here, and this is a big thing for me right here, because I always say y'all worried about the wrong shit. A lot of people are in tune with the wrong shit. You care about just negative bullshit, and you feed into bullshit. But you said if it doesn't improve your health, wealth, or finances, don't make time for it, and encourage others to do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what they say, what you want for yourself, you want for your brother, your wife, or so on and so on. So why would you even let anything that's not going to benefit you mentally, spiritually, or physically take up space in your mind? That's how you become mindset, when you focus on the wrong things.
Right.
We're not here to be sick. No, that's a choice. To be sick is a choice. Right now, if we drunk this whole bottle, we took the choice to be drunk. So everything that you do is a choice.
Right. So, second law, spend black. Now, spend black. And I like how you touched on Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and all of that. When we had a bunch of millionaires all in the same neighborhood, you had black doctors, just everything black. And you had a bunch of white people who come through and bomb this shit and just destroy it, because they didn't want to see us prosper. But I feel like when you're a black business owner, bro, it's 10 times harder.
I
more pressure.
I definitely mentioned that in there, that we got a stigma to being black business owners, so we gotta work harder.
They ignorant. Oh, they customer service is horrible. Oh, she gave me this bad thing this one time. How many times McDonald's gave you a fucking bad fish fillet and you fucking went back there?
Absolutely.
All the time. But the person that that live around the corner from you fucked up one time, and you go tell everybody, oh girl, her shit was horrible. We gotta stop doing that shit.
See, that's why the laws are put in place. See how she just broke law 1 by even going around saying that this female had a problem. And when I mentioned in law 2 with the business owners is, when you're a customer and you feel like there's something wrong and you're black and you're in a black owned business, try to go and tell that person as politely as possible what they could have did better for you to want to come back. So you are helping them. And the people that own the business, you cannot get upset when somebody comes to you politely, letting you know, look, I think you could do this better. I didn't like this. You got to be willing to take that criticism, and us as black people, we have a problem with that. So we got to be willing to take criticism, even if they come belligerently. Take it and want to try to change something so you can avoid that type of problem. So as a black owner of a business, you're gonna have to work 20 times harder than a regular business because of the stigma that's being put on you by your own people and by, you know, society itself. You're gonna have to overcome that and evolve. We are gonna have to overcome that and evolve. So the more we become more you social, the better we will be. Once we are full you social people all around the world, even just here in America, once the black Americans become you social, there's no stopping us. Then we can change the world. Then we can do a whole lot of different things, but we need you social. We gotta be you social.
Alright. So the third law, kings and queens. I've heard you say kings multiple times. You called me a king when you text me. Elaborate on that. When you like,
I'm trying to change. I mean, I know everybody heard Killer Mike talk about the word nigga mean king, and you know they break it down with the word negus, Negus.
So Killer Mike is like an advocate for.
He's an advocate. I won't say nothing bad about him. I just disagree with him with the word nigga and try to keep it out in our culture. I think that's a word that needs to be dropped and put into history. We don't ever forget it because you never forget where you come from, but you evolve and become something different. It's time for us to reinvent ourselves.
Right.
Why not just call ourselves kings? Why not say that word is more positive than using the word negative? Because, you know, sometimes it's kind of positive, then it can be real negative. Like, yo, you fucking nigga, you feel me? Like, it's more negative than it's positive. And I think that if we call more black men kings and we set the king mindset. And for queens, I had an argument with that because of the root of the word. But some people came over that because you can't always go all the way back to where a word was derived from, or where they're saying the word was derived from. But when I speak of kings and queens, I'm telling my people to be their higher selves, to be your higher self as a man and as a woman.
I don't know why I highlighted this, but you said something about women perpetuate these scenarios by glamorizing those traits such as singing and writing songs about being strippers.
That's even like even now, like the Megan Thee Stallion song. She said, "I'd rather be a bitch because that's what you want to call me anyway." No, that's like, he only gonna call you that if you allow it.
Right.
Like, if some females don't allow you to call them no bitch, so
that's like girls that was raised certain ways.
Right. And I think that's the wrong way to be raised. The bitch mind frame gotta come out. Like, what really is a bad bitch? What's the definition of a bad bitch? What is a bitch? Why would you want to be somebody's bitch when you can be somebody's queen?
Facts. Hey, man. When a king loses direction, they become servants.
Yeah.
Fourth law, turn hate into love.
Yeah, we can't have hate, jealousy, and envy in our mind frames. We can't have that type of mind frame. The when we see somebody we know or somebody we don't know, really, and be jealous or hateful towards them because we're not in that position. That's a sign of insecurities, and we need to love each other more and congratulate each other more, tell each other that we're proud of each other more, and have more love in our community, because that's going to help us be a more you social community. We need to be more you social on all 10 laws.
Yeah, but it's hard to be like...
That's one of the hardest ones, because
it's hard to be loving, bro, when you come from a poor environment.
Yeah. Circumstances.
Like motherfuckers always say, oh, white people, why y'all wear this and that? White people just wear the same sneaks all year. But that's because they were afforded that shit when they was a kid. When you were a kid, bro, when you didn't have a choice, but you only had 2 pairs of sneaks the whole fucking year. I remember I used to get the 2 for 89s, Adidas and New Balance. Get teased in school, shit scuffed the fuck up. So it's like when you get older and you able to buy these things, you want to get a little flashy. And you gonna fuck some money up on some shit that don't really matter, but it's an insecurity and it make you feel better about yourself. Yeah, that's most of us dealing with that.
It's called the Baldwin syndrome.
Okay.
Because we feel like we gotta exert ourselves in a certain way to be accepted or be liked in society, and I don't think that's something that you have to do. Me personally, I'm not gonna lie, I had definitely always wanted to get dressed. I was that kid that didn't have a lot growing up, so when I did get some money, I did waste a lot of money getting fly, buying cars, rentals, and stuff like that, because I wanted to be seen in a certain light, or he getting money.
So what is it called again?
The balling syndrome.
The balling syndrome. Alright, I underlined this as well. It's okay to be a copycat, just copy the right cat.
Too often what we don't understand is our kids don't do as we say, they do as we do, and we gotta watch who our kids look up to.
Right.
You might be that kid parent, but you might not be the person he really look up to. So you gotta be careful who your kids are looking up to, so you know who they're copying. Like a lot of people are emulating Malcolm X, even myself with the finger on my head. We gotta copy the right people. So to me, I think we need to be copying our ancestors and not doing the things they did that made them not get to where they should have been, or where they felt that we need to succeed.
But most people gonna copy what they see right there.
Yeah.
I saw you just came in here and you see the corner. I saw motherfuckers on that corner as a kid, and I wanted to be like them. I saw what they was doing, you feel me, as a kid, and what they was getting, the chicks they had, the cars they had. So you kind of want to be like that.
Absolutely.
But thank God for my mom, she wasn't playing that shit. You feel me?
Right.
But most kids, so how do you stop that? Because most kids want to be what they see.
I mean,
like how do parents
that's one of the hardest things you're gonna have to stop, because you gotta be paying attention to what your kids are praising. Like at the end of the day, I praise those guys on the corner, and then I seen the movies and stuff. I'm like, well, this is how it must be. It must be money, girls, cars, fun, and all these extra things that is really not. Those things come with it, but there's a whole lot of other things that come with it too.
Right, X6ix9ine.
Look, 6ix9ine, like, he's a rat. He never was about the street thing. And
alright, but look, let me get your perspective on that. Because I tell motherfuckers all the time. So who do you blame more?
I blame
the rainbow haired kid or the niggas that was extorting?
The niggas that was extorting them. They asked for that.
Right, because I knew this kid was
I'm not condoning him being a rat.
Right.
You know who's cut out for what and who's not cut out for what. And all he did was use them to get rid of y'all.
They used each other.
Yeah, no, but he wanted to get away from them. And I believe he used the FBI to get away from Treyway or whatever the Bloods was that he was running with. He used the cops to get them off his back because he was tired of carrying them, because he reached the level already where he didn't need them anymore. He only needed them for the street cred. So, and they knew that. They knew like he was using them for street cred and they was using them for money. Yep. So when you doing something like that, you basically extorting this boy. So that was just foolish on their behalf to even be running around with 6ix9ine. I wouldn't sit here and be like, don't snitch and all that extra stuff, because I advocate against violence. So I would never put myself in that position to, say that he was right or he was wrong. I mean, even, right is wrong, wrong is right. So right is right and wrong is wrong. So I don't understand it. Man, it's just too much with the no snitching thing.
I tell motherfuckers all the time. People brought up in different environments. They brought up with different principles.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to understand some people. And I'm not going to try to understand that shit. I'm not putting my energy in that shit. It is what it is.
Like, I don't live that street life where I got to worry about snitching and snitching. I changed my life from that. I mean, I was in the streets at one point, but I mean, when you in that lifestyle, I mean, that's the unwritten rule in that lifestyle. There's always unwritten rules in life, so he broke the unwritten rule. I understand people in the streets going to be mad about that.
Yeah, y'all can be mad about it.
They don't seem like they too mad about it because he got all those views just for that new video. Yeah. And what I like about 6ix9ine is he's like, I am a rat.
Right. He's
so
embracing it.
It ain't like he's saying he did right. He just trying to justify why he.
That's what I tell motherfuckers. The culture.
Like, I did rat. He got a rat head on his head.
He a troll.
Yeah, troll.
That's why I'm like, Meek, why you feeding into it? This what motherfuckers gotta
I think Meek should have just never.
He gotta leave that shit alone.
He giving him more
fuel to the fire.
He making 6ix9ine more
relevant. Like, Meek going at it. Now all Meek followers gonna go look at what the young boy doing.
Right.
You add fuel to the fire. Just leave young boy be. When you ignore it, hopefully he'll go away.
We don't know how the industry is with the music thing. Maybe he was told to do that. Like,
rap is different now. It ain't no thug life no more. The culture has shifted. Niggas got piercings in their nipples now. Niggas wearing skirts.
Yeah, Uzi and all that.
It's different now, bro. It is what it is. And the people that listen to the music, they can't really relate to it. They just like what they see. And then when some shit really go down, oh shit, they was for real? Like some of these kids be like, oh, they really was, oh my God.
Yeah.
Alright, so the fifth law, no killing your own.
That's the biggest law I ever wrote in my life, and that's what made me want to be an advocate. I'm 34 years old, and I can name at least 15 people that I grew up with that's not here no more from street violence and guns.
Sad, bro.
And I don't think there's nothing wrong with having a gun. I just think that we need to be not killing each other, but protecting each other. And I started a pledge that I think we all should do as black brothers, and more of us as possible and around the world. Is have so much pride and dignity that killing my own is a threat to my own existence. So if we can get all the young brothers to start taking their pledge and implementing that into their brains and condition them that way at a young age, that killing him is a threat to your own self. So you shouldn't be killing him. That should be
you sound
unifying.
like this is kind of what Trey Dad was saying on Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
And when he was talking about gentrification and all that. And man walked across the street and he like, what I'm supposed to do if a fool want to smoke me?
Right.
That's what he said to him.
No, and when I did the pledge and I had promoted it so a lot more people could see it, people were saying that. He's like, man, listen, man, I understand what you're saying. And when I tell people, I'm not telling you to be a punk or anything like that. If it's ever me or you, it's always gonna be you. Right. So that's different when you're being threatened. But what I'm saying basically is you shouldn't want to kill that person, or that person shouldn't want to kill you. And y'all both should be looking at it as a threat to each other. Existence.
Right.
Like y'all could be more powerful together than not together.
How about just try not to put yourself in those situations?
Yeah, it's hard not to. It's not hard. People want to be down. You do anything for clout, and then it gets so serious.
We all just followers, bro.
Yeah, we all following, so we gotta start more and more and more adults and people that are looked up to need to start showing these kids something different.
Right. That's what you said. Copy the right cat.
Copy the right cat. Like people are thinking this is what they supposed to be. And they have a choice. People know they have choices. You can go to school, you can go do that.
You said earlier, if we decide to drink this whole fucking bottle and have a hangover in the morning and be sick, that's on us. Like you chose.
We already know what can happen if we drink that
right. Bottle. Like you chose to do what you did. You knew you could get a felony. The bullshit that you did didn't even like add up to a fucking felony. Like you wasn't making no money that would just jeopardize the rest of your life. So now you can't get a decent job and all. Like we gotta think before we do shit, man.
I always thought when I was in the streets, I did, give money to my family and stuff like that, and then that was the way I was gonna take care of them. But once you go to jail, you couldn't get that money no more because now you spend it on a lawyer, you spend it on commissary, you can't take care of your family. And so that's not the way you should be looking at this. How I'm gonna take care of my family.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, it is so many other ways to get money.
It's not wrong with having a job, man.
I'm not gonna knock the hustle because some people feel like that's something that they gotta do. And drugs are in the neighborhood.
Right.
We gotta clean it up.
Yeah. I saw you post the other day on your story. Something about like the murders or something. Like I think it's like more murders now that we in quarantine
than it was when we was out of quarantine. Right. I guess they just people are not. Of course, nobody's really quarantined with the weather breaking and stuff like that. And it gets so serious when people start getting killed. And then when people start getting killed, it just be a back and forth thing. It's like a forever thing. And that's the challenge. That's the battle right there. We can stop it right there where it's at now. We can stop it. We can stop every war in the streets. Mm-hmm. Where it's at right now. Like, all right, no more killing each other. I'm not gonna kill nobody from your side. I don't kill nobody from outside. will be super powerful. And that's what we gotta do. That's the main problem. The drugs is definitely a problem. Choosing to sell drugs when you can do other things. There's so many other things. Parents be successful and they still choose to sell drugs.
Followers.
You gotta want to do something different. You want to evolve your mind, be better than what you seen in the streets, what you seen your cousin or your brother doing, what you think they're doing. You gotta understand what's wrong with that. That's why I stopped selling drugs and had to change my life, because at the end of the day, I was hurting people.
Right.
Not purposely, because at the end of the day, I like money. So I ain't care. You know, my mom said they're going to get it anyway. Mm-hmm. And that's what you're being taught. The old heads teach these, like, that's something that was taught. That's what passed down thing, like no snitching. That's like no snitching, being passed down generation to generation. You know, they going to get it anyway. Mom will serve your mom will serve your dad, stuff like that. Not saying I did it. My mom didn't do drugs. My dad did, but I would never serve my dad. I have moral standards, so I know I really wasn't cut out for that type of life. And you know, having a heart changed me.
Yeah. But they say, a wise man learn from others' mistakes. Mm-hmm. Smart man learn from his own. Just gotta pay attention, man. But I posted this the other day. This one like really caught me. And like I be trying to tell my homies, they be caught up in this shit, bro. Like you gotta, like Nipsey said. I was just listening to Nip, and he said we gotta reassess the way we react to shit. Like, bro, every action don't need a reaction. You don't gotta always retaliate this shit. I don't care. I'm so secure in myself, bro. I don't care how nobody like view me. You can say whatever you want to me. Like once you don't touch me though. But you can say whatever you want. Niggas be ready to lose their whole life over when somebody say you a bitch. Oh, they said this about me, and you ready to go do this and that to the person. I don't care about that type of stuff. But you quoted Gandhi in here. You said, "An eye for an eye will only make the world blind."
An eye for an eye will only make the whole world blind. And what I mean by that really is, if we, like I was saying, killing. If I kill you, you kill me. We keep sending each family to a funeral. Mm-hmm. Keep sending each family to a funeral towards no families, towards none of us. That's what it means, that eye for an eye. We keep at the rate that we're going, there won't be no more black people because we're not being used social enough. We don't have enough love for each other and understanding that killing each other is a threat to our own existence. We gotta know that as a black people, that killing our own is a threat to our existence. And we need more of us. More of us is more of us. Not less of us is more of us.
And the only motherfuckers eating is the funeral homes. I wish somebody told me that shit when I was a kid, because I would have definitely invested in the funeral. Matter of fact, that's what I'm saving for right now. That's what I ain't gonna hold you, bro. These niggas gonna keep killing each other, bro.
Yeah, they gonna do what they gonna do. It's gonna be a change. You can't change some people's minds. You only can put the messages out there, but what we can change is the ones that's coming up underneath these ones. We might have a lost generation, or 2 or 3 lost generations, but these kids that's coming up now, these 6-year-olds and these 10-year-olds, we gotta start gripping them up now and changing them. And that's how we break the cycle of killing our own and teaching them that you can't kill him because it's a threat to your own self. And that's toward each other, and they'll have more love for each other and be more eusocial. Yeah. When they become more eusocial, they'll be more powerful.
Right, because you're not born with these thoughts. You taught this shit. Like, you're not born racist.
No.
Motherfuckers taught this shit.
I got a theory where I believe everything is a learned behavior. Like, you see a baby start trying to walk because he sees everybody else walking. Mm-hmm. So he wants to walk too. He wants to run around with the other kids. Right. So it's a learned behavior.
Alright, so 8th law. I'm going to skip to the 8th law. Teach the children black history in the home. Self-education.
That is one of the biggest laws in the book, because we all know when you go to school you get taught slavery history. And that's not our history. Right. When in fact, they were our slaves before we were even thought about being their slaves. Mm. So once you start teaching your kids that they're not inferior, that was just a moment in history. You start teaching them about all the great things and all the great warriors like Shaka Zulu and so on.
Like, we really worthy, like, we were shit.
You don't want your child, and you don't even want yourself. to feel inferior to any other race, being the greatest race because of what your people have really accomplished. That's why you need to know your own history and do your own research and teach your kids at home so they can have that mindset that they know that they are the greatest people.
Like, I should be here. I deserve to be in this room.
Absolutely. Like, I deserve them riches. See, that's why we don't have a lot of what we should have, or even our 40 acres in the middle. You start talking about 40 acres in the middle, people will be like, well, black people are going to go spend their money up. It doesn't matter what black people are going to do. If some people want to go spend their money up, let them go spend their money up. They still deserve it.
Right.
And once we believe that we deserve it, we will have it. But we got to be you social again and believe that we deserve that. Believe that we deserve all that the universe has to offer.
These quotes is crazy, yo. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today.
Right.
Malcolm X.
That's like I got in contact with you, and, set up this pod to be on your platform, to be on your podcast. I prepared for that yesterday.
Okay.
To be here today, I knew I was going to be here today, speaking and talking about my book. So that's what that means. It's really like you are in control. You can control time.
You can control
You can
your
control
future, your
time.
destiny.
It's up to you, the one to control it. You can know what you're doing tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Not saying you might get there at 8:05. It might be some glitch in your plan, but you can plan. I'm going to take a shower when I get done with this podcast.
So I tell people all the time.
It's all about planning ahead.
Planning ahead. It's imperative. Biggie said, being broke at 30 give a nigga the chills. I'm 28, I'm about to be 30. 30 is not old. Imagine, 40 is not old, but 50, 60, 70.
Bro.
When you really old and you can't work you can't move how you used to, and you see some of these old people with jobs because they didn't handle their situations when they was younger, man. That shit, and that's what we not taught too. Like, that should be in the curriculum. You should teach people finances. It should be a class for paying taxes.
Yeah.
It should be a class for real estate.
We gotta teach our kids financial literacy.
Right.
Like when I said, we gotta start gripping up the ones that's being born now, the ones from now to at least 12. We gotta start really conditioning their minds. Not letting that computer or that phone or that tablet condition their minds. Let those things condition their minds, but set it up to what you want to be in their minds, so they can be stronger as an adult or as a teenager or as a person, period, and know those type of things.
So this is what I always tell motherfuckers. So I have kids. We all wish we had a time machine and we could go back in time and change some shit, right? But I feel like them kids is your time machine, bro. Like, that's your legacy right there. Them kids got your name. And Dame Dash always say, I hustle for my last name, not my first name. That's what separate him from a lot of niggas. Like, that kid is gonna carry this Dash legacy. That kid gonna carry my legacy.
Absolutely.
So if you can instill what you learned in just however many years in life in like a 12-year-old, they polished, they ready. Yeah, man, they come in the room, they got their head high, they ready. They know what the fuck is going on. So that's your time machine right there. That's your fresh start. That's your kid. That's your son. That's your fresh start right there. That's how I feel.
It's a saying. They say that's how you live forever. You live forever through your kids.
Through your name. And that's how white people built wealth.
Yeah, and we got our first generation of wealth. So it's definitely nothing but building from here. We got to stay strong and keep evolving. That's what my book is about. Really evolving our minds, because that's where the enemy tries to fight us at first. In our minds. That's what I was saying basically with all aid, with the self-education. If they send you to school and they're teaching you that you're inferior to them already, they're going to believe that. So we got to really evolve our minds past it and know that we are the greatest people again.
Alright. So the 9th law, keep the communities clean. Now, I'm not going to lie, I've been doing community service because I caught a little case in the county. So I'm going to some of these spots, man, cleaning up, having to pick up trash, bro. It's trash everywhere but the trash can. Bro, like...
What makes me so mad is, us as black people, we always want to point the finger and take the blame, but we don't, call ourselves out when we're
Take
doing something.
accountability.
We gotta take accountability. Like, our community shouldn't look like that.
Right.
If we are more usocial and we all got guys there that we're gonna make sure there's no trash outside, there won't be no trash
But hold
outside.
on, you know what kills me? A motherfucker go in another neighborhood and won't throw shit on the ground.
Absolutely.
That's
Because
what kills
it's
me.
already clean. See, they see the trash on the ground, they think that's what they supposed to do, go crash on the
Yeah,
ground.
man.
No, you're not supposed to do that, and that's why it's gentrification. You talking about they done turned the ghetto in the hood into something else. All they did was clean it up, do a little building, not too much.
Right.
We can stop that all just by keeping all communities clean at all times, and everybody will have high property value. It won't be no ghettos, it won't be no hoods by keeping the community clean. Because now you take out that drug aspect, you take out that trash, you take out that nigga mentality, you get, kings telling these princes and these young kings how to be, teaching them and conditioning their minds to be better than what has been put in front of them, or not even let them know those things and teaching them something better.
Right. And you got a quote at the end of this, we must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
If we not living together or use socially, having a use social mindset, we will perish. And cleaning communities up is very important. I get real deep into it. I don't want to say too much, so I do want y'all to buy the book. But I get it. When I say keeping the community clean, I don't just mean trash.
Right. 10th law, final law, breaking a cycle. Elaborate on that.
Yeah, breaking the cycle is basically doing something different. If everybody start doing something different, we can change the world just on that small thing. Like writing a book. Writing a book showed me that anything is possible. That I could be or do whatever I believe I can do. And believing in myself and doing something different than what I was doing. That I thought society or what this was cool. It's not. It's not cool. I'm better than who I was before. So breaking a cycle is definitely, like I said before, it gotta be a group. You can break a cycle within yourself though. You don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over. We know that's insanity. So me personally, I've been in jail 3 times, and I ain't do 20 years like Wallow. My 3 lockups might only equal out to a year, if that, but I didn't like it, so I did something different. I wasn't gonna keep doing it. I broke that cycle.
Nobody with any dignity want to be in jail, bro.
Yeah, I broke that cycle for myself, by doing something different. And if we come together as a group and stop killing each other and be more social and be the biggest, greatest people in the world, what they might call a gang or whatever y'all want to call it, we're gonna be powerful. We're gonna run the universe once we do that, and I believe it can happen. Like I said, we got a lot of kids that we can grab now and start teaching them something different. We gotta get them before the streets get them.
Get them before the streets get them, man. Yeah. That might be the title of this. Get them before the streets
get them. You gotta get the kids before the streets get them, and you gotta get the kids before the streets get them, and teach them that they are wherever you're being kings and queens. Like, that's your birthright. It's up to you to live up to it.
On that note, we out, yo.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, bro. I appreciate you. I learned a lot from this book. Y'all can too. I'm gonna keep posting this shit up. Dr. Reid's 10 Laws, the Foundation.
Thank you.